friends, welcome back to the channel today. My name is Carly and today we are going to be doing a Kickstarter preview. The game that we're going to be chatting about today is Mind the Menu from Jolly Quest Games. Now I want to give a huge shout out to Jolly Quest Games for sponsoring this video today and for sending us this copy to preview. Mind the Menu is a 2 to 4 player game for ages 3 and up and plays in roughly 20 to 40 minutes. Now with my Kickstarter previews, I like to chat a little bit about the game, but before we do that, we're actually going to jump over to a really quick general overview of how the game plays, and then we'll jump back here. Welcome to Mind the Menu. You are a budding chef competing in an exciting cook-off competition. You will need to battle it out and make $10 worth of dishes before any of your competitors in order to win. The ingredient pantry is looking slim though, so hopefully you can remember where all the ingredients are before another chef beats you to it and crushes your culinary dreams. Players will take turns flipping over ingredient tiles, trying to find the exact ones they need to complete their own personal recipe cards. They will need to remember where all the ingredients are though, because in order to complete recipes, you will have to flip over all of the ingredients you need for it in a single turn. It won't be easy. The recipe deck is filled with action cards that can help you or burn you, preventing you from completing your recipe cards. Do you have what it takes? And we are back. Now this copy that was sent to me is a prototype version of the game, so just be aware that rules, components, everything is subject to change. However, Jolly Quest Games has assured me that this is pretty darn close to what the final game is going to look like. Now, like I mentioned before, Mind the Menu is a 2 to 4 player game where the goal of the game is to be the first player to successfully complete $10 worth of recipes. How do you do that, you might ask? Well, let me explain it to you. The setup for this game is super simple. You're going to shuffle the 42 ingredient tiles and place them in a 6x7 grid in the center of the table. You will then shuffle the recipe deck and deal out 3 cards to each player. The first player is determined by who last had something to eat. And that's the setup for the game. Super simple and quick. On each player's turn, they're going to be doing the following 5 things in order. The first thing players will do will be drawing cards. Players can choose to draw cards until they have 3 cards in their hand. The next thing players will do is flip over tiles. Players can choose to flip either 2, 3, or 4 tiles over in the grid. After players have finished flipping over cards, they then will check their recipe cards and see if any of the tiles that they flipped over match any of the ingredients that they need for their recipes. When they are collecting tiles, they can't just collect one at a time. They have to make sure that the entire recipe would be completed by selecting the tiles. Then any ingredients that are remaining in the pantry that were uncollected at the time will be flipped over again, and then players can choose to discard a card if they want to from their hand. This final step is optional though. You don't have to discard a card if you don't want to. After completing those steps, the current player's turn then ends, and then the play will continue with the next player. Plays will continue like this, continuing to go around and around the table until somebody completes $10 worth of recipe cards. And whoever does that first wins. Now the game that I just explained to you, that is considered the original version of the game, but this game does come with a slightly easier kids version, which I'll briefly talk about right now. The setup is the exact same in regards to tiles. Again, you'll shuffle the tiles, placing them in a grid in the center of the table. So the way that the recipe cards work, though, are slightly different for this game. So what you're going to be doing is for every younger kid who is playing is you're going to be taking the recipe cards and kind of sectioning them out. You'll take all the recipe cards that are worth $2, shuffle those up, and hand 3 of those to each of the kids that are around the table. Then any adults that are at the table, you will shuffle the $3 recipe cards and hand 3 of those out to each adult who will be playing. So the kids get the slightly easier recipes, adults get the slightly harder ones. What you do on your turn is slightly different as well. When you start your turn, you basically just start by flipping over tiles, and you flip over as many tiles as are on your ingredient cards. So each child who's playing the game will, when it's their turn, they will flip over 2 tiles. Each adult will flip over 3. Then again, you will choose to collect any ingredients that will successfully complete your recipe cards. If you can't complete any recipe cards, then any of the ingredients that you flipped over will then be turned over again, and then it will proceed to the next player's turn. The winning condition for the children's game of this is just whoever completes those 3 recipe cards that they were initially dealt at the beginning of the game, whoever completes those first wins. And that is how you play Mind the Menu. So something that I like to do with my Kickstarter previews is I like to chat a little bit about who I feel like this game is for, and if this would be a good fit for you, a good fit for your collection, and something that you or your family would gravitate towards or enjoy. Now really, this is just a simple memory game. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, but what makes it interesting is because instead of just trying to find random combinations, you really are trying to find very specific ingredients to try to complete those recipe cards. And what makes this interesting is that other people, you're able to kind of see what other people are also going for as well. So if you see that somebody like has chicken and you have chicken and you know exactly where one chicken is, and you're like, man, I really have got to figure out where the bun and the lettuce is before they figure out what they need on their recipe cards and take that chicken, because it's going to take me so much longer to try to find another chicken somewhere in this pantry. So it makes it really fun because you're like fighting over the limited ingredients that are stocked in this pantry. I played this game with my daughter and she immediately fell in love with it. She loves memory games. And that was one of the reasons why I was excited to chat about this game on my channel, because I know that my daughter is probably not the only kid out there that loves memory games, but my daughter is incredibly good at memory. She is really good at remembering where things are on the board, and she just loved being able to complete her recipe cards, and she would always complete them like way before me. Now, being in this hobby, obviously there are lots of games that come out that, claim to be good for kids, or games that, you're able to alter a little bit, or games that are even aimed for kids but still require a decent amount of setup. You kind of have to pull out the rule book again to kind of remember how to play. This game is one of those games that you literally do not have, there's like zero setup. First of all you do is shuffle and lay out these cards. But then also you don't have to be flipping through a rule book every single time you pull this out, because you play this once and you know how to play forever. It's simply just a memory game trying to match the recipes. And so that's what makes this game really nice, is you really don't have to think about it. You can just pull it off the shelf, set it up in like less than a minute, and you can just start playing. And games are super fast. Like me and my daughter, I think we played a game in like 10 minutes. So I know on the side of the box it says 20 to 40 minutes. I would be surprised. Maybe 30 minutes. But like for me, for example, when we played a 3-player game of this, we were able to knock it out in like 25 minutes. So it is a really quick game, a game you don't have to think too hard on, and a game that, again, I think for like younger kids, those kind of that younger mindset, I think they will really gravitate and like this a lot. And the theme is so cute, of like trying to find the ingredients you need to finish your recipes. It was just really cute, and I was just absolutely loving the artwork on the cards. It's all very endearing, just kind of like that cute little like chunky food. It was all really well put together, and looks really professional and nice. So wrapping up this Kickstarter preview, I think this game does a really good job of showing exactly what it is. It is not, trying to be more than it is. It is simply a memory game, or basically a memory and matching game. But it does it in a really fun, kind of endearing way, a way that I haven't personally seen other games do, at least not in a while, and a game that my daughter really loved, and it was fun to kind of break out as a family and play. So if your family is kind of in that same stage of life that mine currently is, or you have grandkids that are around a lot, or nieces and nephews, and you're looking for just a really quick, light, easy, no-think game to break out and play, this might be one that you want to take a look at. And so there you go, that is my Kickstarter preview for Mind the Menu. If you are interested in this game, all of the links and information will be found in the description below. And again, huge shout out to Jolly Quest Games for sponsoring this video. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next time.